Hey, well, good morning, everyone. Um, so good to see you this morning at Yoga. We're grateful that you can join those of you that are joining in our live time and also those who will join throughout the week. We're grateful for each one of you. So to start our time and give some folks a chance to get on here with us, we encourage you to just post your name, where you are today, and how you're feeling. We would love to know that. And we also have a prayer team that prays for that throughout the week. Good morning, Jill. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, as we get started here, your name, where you are, and how you're doing today. I am going to begin with just a brief devotional. We also encourage you, if you're joining with us live, start a watch party. Share this with your friends. If you think that they could use a little breathing room and a little yoga today, we would love for you to start a watch party, share, uh, get your friends here to Yoga Church, and we would love to have them join in with us as well. Hey, good morning, all of you who are joining the Living Room Church as well. This week, for all our Living Room Church friends, we have over 1,000. I think we got to like 1,030 or something new members in the Living Room Church. So that's amazing, and thank you, and welcome to all of you. So my devotional this morning, and this is from the Christian Scriptures, but please don't be intimidated by that. We encourage anybody to join. If you are spiritually open, then we would love to have you join in with us. You don't have to be a Christian. You can be say, I don't think I am a Christian. Maybe I'm a Christian. I'm thinking about wherever. But Karen and I, our spiritual path that we've chosen is to follow Jesus, and so we're in the Christian tradition. And I think we can all agree, most people across all religions and views can agree that Jesus is a great teacher, right? So we're going to look at one of these moments in the life of Jesus to kind of lean us into the practice. And I'll just summarize what happens here. But Jesus just takes a couple key people with him up onto the mountaintop. And we see in this, in Jesus' life, there's this rhythm of work and healing and advance, and then retreat and prayer and meditation and rest and hearing from God and connecting with God. This time he takes his friends up, and suddenly he's transfigured before them. And the word there is in the Greek is metamorpho, from where we get the word metamorphosis. So when we think about a metamorphosis, it's kind of like the transfiguration that a caterpillar goes through into a butterfly. So a caterpillar is the same DNA speaking genetically, but they go into this cocoon, go through this mushy liquefaction, complete reconfiguration, and come out this new creature that can now fly. So they're like these hairy little worms that walk around, and now they've become this creature of flight. It's just this amazing thing, right, in nature that bears witness that there's a creator God, right? Hey, Gene, good to have you this morning. So Jesus does something like this. He takes the disciples up. He's suddenly glowing with light. Light is emanating out of him. And then suddenly two really important figures in the Jewish tradition are standing there with Jesus, Elijah and Moses, and they're having this conversation. And so the disciples' impulse, one of them's name's Peter, he speaks up and says, "Lord, it is good for us to be here. Like, this is amazing. I'm so glad we get to be a part of this. Let's build a church right here. Let's build a monument. Let's build a tent right here and kind of stay here." And then this voice from heaven speaks and says, "This is my beloved son. Listen to him." But there's an impulse there that when we have these moments of transfiguration, when we have these moments of really powerful spiritual awakenings, that we want to stay in that, right? We want to stay there. Like, let's build a house right here. Just stay here forever. But what happens next is Jesus takes those same friends back down into the valley of life. And one of the first things they deal with is people that are mentally ill and people that are sick and people that are hungry. And so in our spiritual path, we can't stay on the mountaintop all the time. We have to carry those mountaintop moments with us into the valley. And our mind and our hearts and our souls are focused on those life-giving spiritual moments. But then we have to get back down into the mud and the mess and the craziness of the world sometimes, and be instruments of healing and reconciliation and love. But we carry those transfiguration moments this morning. You know, everybody wants to be a butterfly, but nobody wants to go through the process of transfiguration. Nobody wants to be a caterpillar and go into cocoon and go through that mushy liquefaction process. And that's a lot like our spiritual journey, right? That we have to go through a process of self-discovery, and even sometimes denying those parts of ourselves that are not God's best for us. We have to go through this kind of transformation process to become the fullness of God, who God's created us to be. One of the things I love about the Christian tradition is that our story starts with very good. That God creates everything and says it is good, it is good, it is good. He gets to humanity and says, very good. Human beings made in my image, male and female, made in the image of God. And so the beginning of our story is not mess and brokenness and not enoughness, but very goodness. And underneath, inside all of us, sometimes the caterpillar of ourselves kind of covers it up. But there's a very good, transfigured person inside all of us. And spiritual disciplines like yoga and prayer and meditation and reading some kind of holy scriptures, they help shape and form and help us become that new creation. They give us those transfiguration moments so that we can go out into the valley and do life with the people where they are in their needs. And so I'm hopeful this morning that this time, as Karen leads us, will be a transfiguration moment for you. It'll be a time to breathe and experience God's presence and to find healing and wholeness as we kind of go through this practice being led by Karen. So thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to turn it over to Karen now.
Well, good morning. Welcome to yoga. Please be aware of your body as you go through your practice today, and listen to your body. If anything doesn't feel right, it's perfectly okay not to do it. If you're someone that can't go down to the floor easily, you can just sit in a chair and do a lot of the movements. So it's okay to modify your practice so that it works for your body. Let us start with the heart of yoga, which is breath. Let us close our eyes and just begin to breathe. And as you breathe, clear your mind of any anxiety, anything that's just taking up too much space, so that you can open up your mind and maybe just hear your mind or your soul talking to you, maybe giving you an intention. Maybe there's something that comes to mind to help you transfigure your mind, body, and spirit into something even better. So let us just breathe here. Let us change our breath pattern into a deep inhale in through the nose, and then exhale through the mouth. A long inhale followed by an even longer exhale, keeping your eyes closed and listening to your soul, finding that intention that maybe you can focus on throughout your practice today. On the next breath, let's return to normal breath in through the nose and out through the nose as we open our eyes. Take your arms out long with your palms up. Inhale to float the hands up, and exhale, hands over heart center, and namaste. Inhale to float the hands up. Exhale, float the hands out long. Big stretch here, big breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale And exhale. Let your breath guide your movement today. Last big stretch, reaching the arms up as long as you can, floating the fingertips out down to your mat, softly placing them on your mat. As we go into some side stretches, flipping that left palm up, reach up for strength and over for flexibility. Again, let your breath guide your movement. Inhaling and exhaling with each big stretch. Last big side stretch, inhaling, exhaling, floating your hands down by your side, sitting as tall as you can, making sure that you're in a comfortable position with your knees bent a lot, or maybe that's not comfortable for you. You can bring your feet out. We bend our knees just a little to protect our spine. Let us move into some shoulder shrugs with breath. Inhale to shrug up, and exhale to shrug down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale. And exhale. Next, let's take it up and around to the back. So big, slow shoulder rolls to the back. Feeling your shoulder blades lift and then come down, releasing any tension in your upper back and your neck. As you breathe, big breaths, inhaling and exhaling with each shoulder roll. Last big shoulder roll, relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears as we begin some soft, small upper body circles. Just a little movement in the spine, trying to get some spine mobility, maybe rounding as you go to the back and lifting your heart as you come forward, gradually making each upper body circle just a little bit bigger, moving with your body and with your breath. We're going to switch the direction of our circles and start small and gradually increase the size of your circle. Remember through your practice that the slower you move a joint, the more tension you will release from that joint. Inhale and exhale and come back to tall spine. Letting your hands rest on your knees. Either your knees can be folded or your feet can be out in front. Either way works. Let us move into a seated cat and cow. So holding on to your knees, hinge forward, lift your heart, lift your gaze, and fill the lungs up with air. Inhale. On the exhale, nod the chin and slowly round back into a cat pose. Inhale into seated cow. And exhale into seated cat. Inhale. And exhale. And one more set. Inhale. And exhale. And come up to tall spine. Let's do a few neck stretches before we continue. Go on and sit as tall as you can, relaxing your shoulders down away from your ears, and let your left earlobe fall towards your left shoulder with a heavy head. Inhale, and on the exhale, come back up to the center and slowly look over your right shoulder with breath. Inhale to look over the shoulder, and exhale to come back to the center, grow a little bit taller once again. Letting the right earlobe fall towards the right shoulder with a heavy head. Inhale. On the exhale, come back up to the center, only to look over that left shoulder with breath. Inhale to look over the shoulder. And exhale to come back to the center, grow a little bit taller. As you drop your chin to your chest, let your spine be long, stretching the back of the neck. Let your head be heavy here and breathe. On the next breath, with your chin on your chest, let the rest of the spine go. Just let it round, letting the rib cage cave in, letting the shoulders round forward, relaxing the shoulders, the elbows, the wrist, letting your head get heavier and heavier. Feeling the space between each vertebra just open up as you breathe. Inhale, and exhale, slowly roll your chin up towards your left shoulder, and when you get there, sit as tall as you can as we go into half neck circles in slow motion. Inhale to drop the chin to the chest, once again rounding the spine. On the exhale, come up to the right shoulder and grow tall through the spine. Inhale, drop the chin to the chest, round the spine. Exhale, come up to the left shoulder and grow tall through the spine. And one more half neck circle, inhale. And exhale, sit as tall as you can. Bring your gaze back to the center as you straighten your legs out in front of you for our staff pose. Pointing your toes up to the ceiling to ground your legs. Use your fingertips to grow as tall as you can. Put your belly into your spine to protect your spine. If you need to bend your knees, you can. Listen to your body and move in ways that your body wants you to move. That's how we connect our mind, body, and spirit, by working all three together. So you can stay here, or if you want it a little bit more, you can float your fingertips up, reach for the ceiling, hinge 2 or 3 inches, and just pause, breathing, feeling the stretch, feeling the energy flow through your fingertips, feeling the energy flow through the soles of your feet. Breathe 3 breaths here. On the next breath, we're going to do a forward fold. It's contraindicated if you're over 60, so maybe you just stay here. Or if you want to go a little bit deeper, begin your forward fold, reaching for your feet, letting your nose float towards your knees. Maybe you bend your knees, and maybe with each exhale, just try to straighten them a little bit. Let us breathe 3 more breaths here. On the next breath, slowly round your back up to a nice tall spine, articulating the spine, stacking 1 vertebra at a time as you lift your chin last. Let's move into seated butterfly. Bringing the soles of the feet together. If you have back issues, keep your feet away. If you want to go a little bit deeper, pull your feet in, maybe wiggle to get a little closer. Hold on to your lower leg, ankle or knee to sit as tall as you can. Maybe you stay here. Maybe this is enough. If you want to go a little bit deeper with a long spine, hinge forward, let your elbows float over your knees, gently press them down as you nod your chin into your chest, let your nose fall towards your feet, and gently press the knees towards the earth. You'll feel an opening up of the lower back here, and breathe. On the next breath, go on and roll that spine back up, articulating the spine, coming back to tall spine. As you take your left leg out to the side for a nice side leg stretch. Go on and flex that left foot. Float your right hand up to the ceiling as high as you can reach. Keep it reaching up to the ceiling as you slide the left hand down towards your left ankle, keeping your eyes on your left big toe, and breathe 3 breaths here. Let's go on and rotate that right hand down, bringing it next to your left hand, nodding your chin and gazing to your knee, and breathing 3 breaths here. On the next breath, begin to roll the spine back up. Once again, articulating the spine, floating that right hand back up, all the way around to the back of your right hip. As you float your left hand up and over, soft right elbow here. If you want a little bit more, you can lift your buttocks and just lift up for a little bit more. Reaching with your top arm. Inhale. And on the exhale, come on back down slowly. As we transition to the other side, pulling the left foot in, taking the right leg out, pointing the right toes up, flexing the right foot to just ground that right leg. As you float your left hand up, reach as high as you can. Continue to reach as you slide that right hand down toward your right foot. Eyes are on the big toe. Reach and just try to get as much space as you can between both hands. So the bigger the space, the bigger the stretch. Inhale and exhale. Maybe try inhaling a little bit deeper. You'll feel a little bit more stretch through the rib cage and through the obliques. And now if you want a little bit more, you can just windmill that left hand down, coming next to your right hand. Gaze down to your knee and slowly let your nose fall towards your knee. And breathe 3 breaths here. Inhale, and on the exhale, slowly roll the spine back up. Once again, coming into that butterfly position. As we go into some spinal rotation, we're going to take the left hand to the right knee, only to get tall. As you take your right hand around to the back of your mat, lifting your gaze, rotating, lifting your heart, and breathing. On the next breath, slowly come back around to the center as you rotate around to your left, switching your hand grip. Lifting your heart, lifting your gaze, and breathing, feeling the stretch as you sit as tall as you can. On the next breath, come back around to the center. Bring your knees together. We're going to transition onto our hands and knees. Bringing your wrist underneath your shoulders. Let's try to align our wrist, our knees, and our feet all in one straight line. So alignment is important here. Make sure your wrists are under your shoulders. As we drop into a child's pose, uncurl your toes. Let your buttocks drop to your heels. Stretch your hands away from your shoulders. Drop your elbows, drop your forehead, and breathe 3 breaths in an extended child's pose. Know that child's pose is a pose you can come to at any time during your practice. If there's something we're doing that your body is just not up to doing today, or it hurts, or for whatever reason, maybe you just prefer child's pose. Child's pose is a place to come back to. Let us come onto our hands and knees. Separate your knees. Be sure that your wrists, knees, and feet are in alignment. As we go into big hip circles, your hip's going to kind of go over to the right, over the right heel, the left heel to the left, and back to the center. Soft elbows and shoulders. Switch directions. Inhaling and exhaling with each big, slow hip circle. And 2 more hip circles. Inhale and exhale. And 1 more. Inhale and exhale. We're going to go into some dancing lines from here. So go ahead and slide your right hand out as far as you can reach, only to float your right arm up, flip the right pinky up, take the right pinky up towards the ceiling along with your gaze. So as you bring your pinky back towards your ankle, you're going to add that hip circle. So it's an arm circle with a hip circle, working the body together. And these are called dancing lines. So this is a whole body joint release here. So go slow and feel the tension just release from your body. Inhaling and exhaling with each dancing line. On this next big arm circle, let's leave our pinky up towards the ceiling, reaching as high as you can, maybe even letting that hand kind of fall back to open up just a little more. As we prepare to thread the needle, you're going to take the top hand under your heart, through your opposite arm, dropping your ear and your shoulder to the mat, maybe taking your opposite hand on the small of your back. This is called threading the needle. On the next breath, come back to hands and knees as we go into dancing lines on the other side. Float your left hand out, floating your left arm up, left pinky up to the ceiling. Reach as high as you can, feel the stretch, and begin your dancing line. Circling the arm and the hips in a natural movement, working with your body, soft and slow, reaching as high as you can every time your pinky comes up. On the very next arm circle, we're going to leave that pinky up, reaching up to the ceiling, maybe letting that left hand fall back a little bit to open up just a little bit more stretch, and then thread the needle. Dropping the elbow and shoulder down, maybe taking that right hand on the small of your back, and breathe. On the next breath, slowly come out of your threading the needle back to your hands and knees. We're going to move right into our vinyasa. So I'm going to go into downward dog. However, if you have high blood pressure or glaucoma or any kind of back injury, then maybe you do child's pose instead of downward dog. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees, lift your sits bones, let your eyes go to your knees, pedal your heels, left heel goes down, right, left, right, both heels pressing down as your sits bones press up, pressing your heart towards your thighs, and breathe. Go on and lift your heels up as high as you can so that you can drop your shoulders over your wrist for a nice plank. You can always bring your knees down if you don't like your knees up. This is your practice. Let it be good for your body. Be sure that your hips are not sagging. It would be better to be piped up. So a plank is a very important pose for your entire body, mind, and spirit. Pull your belly into your spine. Transition your weight through your whole body and breathe. And from here, we're going to go and bend our elbows, lower our whole body down. As we move into Cobra Pose, your fingertips should land right by your shoulders, the tips of your shoulders. Uncurl your toes, squeeze your elbows in. If you have any lower back issues, it's going to compress your lower disc. So maybe you only lift an inch or two. Maybe your back allows you to lift higher. Listen to your body as you move into Cobra Pose. Close your eyes and breathe 3 breaths. On the next breath, press back into Child's Pose, where maybe you stay or maybe you join me for Downward Dog. In Downward Dog, we move into pedaling. So you're going to press your left heel down, right, left, right, left. Both heels press down as your sits bones press up. Lifting your heels, moving back into your plank. Maybe you drop your knees. Maybe you want a little more. We can go into a side plank. Turning to the side, lifting our arm, keeping our neck in alignment with our spine, and side plank. Rotate back to your center plank. You can go back into Cobra or join me for Chaturanga. Chaturanga, we slowly bend our elbows, holding our body up with our elbows in Chaturanga. And then maybe you drop back down into your Cobra Pose. Coming back into Child's Pose, maybe staying there, maybe coming up into Downward Dog. So in Downward Dog, we can go into pedaling once again, dropping your left heel down, right heel, left, right, left, right. Both heels pressing down, and your heart's pressing towards your legs as you lift your sits bones as high as you can. Lift your heels, drop back into your plank. Now again, you can drop your knees down if you want. Maybe you go into that side plank. Be sure that your head's not hanging, your neck stays in alignment with your spine here, and breathe. Rotate that hand, come back to your center plank. You can drop into your Cobra, or maybe you join me for a little more challenge in Up Dog. Uncurl the toes and slowly lower the hips towards the mat. They don't touch the mat, they hover. As you lift your heart, you lift your gaze and breathe. 3 breaths in Up Dog. Drop back into your child's pose, where maybe you stay, or maybe you join me in downward dog once again. And pedaling, heels, left heel, right, left, right, both heels pressing down. Then lifting both heels, we're going to go in and lift up that right leg as high as you can. And then you're going to swing the right foot forward to the outside of your right hand. Now, my advice to you is a lot of us come here, and that's not good for the knee, so maybe you pick up your foot and make sure that your ankle is under your knee. Straddle that right foot, drop your back knee, uncurl your back toes, take your hands on top of your knee, and then maybe you go into a kneeling crescent lunge. And then rotate, dropping the left hand down as you rotate to the right. And then windmill your right hand down to the inside of your right ankle, where maybe you drop your elbows down, or maybe not. We're all built differently. And breathe. If your elbows are down, go on and bring them back up. Straddle that front foot once again. As we go into a hamstring stretch, we're going to let our buttocks go back towards our left leg as you straighten your front right leg. Let your gaze go to your front knee. Maybe pick up your toes. Maybe kiss your knee. Slowly hinge forward once again. Curl your back toes under. Come up into a deep runner's lunge. We're going to go into crescent lunge, so be careful here. Hands can come up on top of the thigh to assist. Reach your arms up, crescent lunge. And we're going to go into our warrior series. We're going to turn that back foot out to the side. Warrior 1. Warrior 2, open up the arms. Peaceful warrior, back hand to the back leg. Front arm reaches up. And from there, we go into side angle, elbow to the front knee, back hand comes up. Maybe it's extended. Side angle, you can extend your hand down. Come back to warrior 2 to reset. As we move into triangle, straighten out that right knee. Hinge your upper body to the right. Dropping your hand either to your thigh or your shin as you reach your back hand up. Gazing down to your front big toe helps to protect the neck. Triangle pose. And then come back into your warrior 2. Take your left arm back out in front of your left shoulder. Reach both hands back up. You're back into warrior 1. This very small move we're about to do can really throw you off, so be careful. You're going to lift your back heel and turn it forward, back into crescent lunge, and then back down into runner's lunge. And then step back into your child's pose or into downward dog. And pedal once again, left heel, right, left, right. Both heels press down. Both heels come up. Float that right leg up, or left leg up. As you swing it forward, remember you want to get it all the way in front so your ankle is under your knee. On and drop your back knee, uncurl your back toes. Float your hands all the way up, kneeling, crescent lunge. Go on and drop that right hand to the inside of that left ankle as you rotate to the left. And then windmill that top hand down so it's on the inside of your front ankle. And then if you can come down to your elbows, come down to your elbows and breathe. Or maybe you prefer not to drop your elbows. Maybe you go halfway. Maybe it's something we're working on. Go on and straddle that front foot as we go into hamstring stretch. Go slow and listen to your body. As you bring your buttocks back towards your right heel, you're going to straighten out your left leg, pulling the toes of the left foot up, bringing your nose down towards your knee as though you were going to kiss it. And breathe. Slowly lunge forward. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee back into that runner's lunge. As we go into our warrior series, hands on top of that front thigh. You can always hold on to something if you need to. Float the hands up into crescent lunge. Turn your back foot out to the side. You're in warrior 1 and warrior 2. Peaceful warrior. And right into side angle, dropping the left elbow to the left thigh, gazing down to your big toe. Maybe you're an extended side angle. Good job. Come back to warrior two, long arms, where you reset and triangle. Straighten out that left knee, hinge your upper body to the left, dropping your hand to your thigh or your shin, floating your back hand up, gazing down to your big toe. Coming back into warrior two. As we go back to warrior one, taking that right arm and out in front, reaching both arms, hands over your shoulders, lifting your back heel, turning it, hinging over back into your runner's lunge, stepping back into downward dog. And now you can either walk forward or hop forward into a standing forward fold. So in standing forward fold, you can bend your knees as much as you need to. Maybe you bend in and rest your chest on your thighs. And from here, you can just hang down there like a rag doll, or you can join me for a deep runners or deep yoga squat. You can take your big toes out, heels, big toes, and then just drop your buttocks down like you're dropping them into a bucket. Elbows to the inside of the knees. Lift your heart, hands over your heart. Close your eyes and breathe. This is a great hip opener. If you're someone with tight hips or tight hip flexors, this is a great stretch to do. If you're in that deep, deep yoga squat, take your hands down, swing your heels out, come back into your forward fold. Let's all reverse one up. So you're going to bend your knees, flip your palms forward, and pretend you're taking a big bundle of love, of energy, of whatever it is that you want to bring into your being from above and into your heart. Let us go on and face our long side of our mat as we open up our arms and go into a nice good morning stretch, good morning pose. Hinge halfway down. So your nose doesn't go below your hips, your arms are long, your spine is long. You're growing through the crown of the head and your hips are leaning towards the back. You can stay here, enjoy the stretch, or maybe join me for a revolving triangle. Dropping your left fingers or hand under your heart as you float your right hand and gaze up towards the ceiling. Come back into your good morning pose as we switch to the other side. Dropping your right fingers or right hand down as you float your left hand and gaze up. And then back into your good morning pose. Hinging all the way up. Float the hands up and over your heart center. Take your heels, toes in, all the way to standing. As we move into our balance poses, let's start with mountain pose, and then we'll move into our balance poses. I like to do mountain pose so that you can feel the connection of the soles of your feet to your mat, to the floor, wherever you're standing. Grow tall, and you're just going to ground your feet into your mat. So this is a way for us to become grounded. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Let your arms hang loose and relaxed. Pull your belly into your spine. Lift your rib cage and your chest. Maybe engage your quads and just press all 10 toes into the mat, all four corners of your feet. Close your eyes and maybe just meditate on that intention. Maybe it's more of an image you have today or a vision. Let it be something that is good. A good image, a good vision. I have a vision of all people being made in the image of God in a beautiful garden. And with your eyes closed, let's return to the purifying breath. Inhaling in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And return to normal. Breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Open your eyes. Bring your hands over your heart center as we move into our tree pose. You can do it in a progression style with me, so stay where you think you need to stay so you can hold your tree pose. Stand next to a table or a chair if you need it for balance. Lifting your left heel, maybe letting it sit against your inside right ankle, maybe keeping your big toe, the ball of your foot on the floor for safety. Pull your belly into your spine. Find a spot on the wall that's not moving. Maybe you slowly slide the sole of your foot up your leg. Try not to rest it on the knee joint. And breathe. Next, we're going to take our knee forward. You can keep your toe on the ground if you want. You're going to take your arms up and out. We're in helicopter pose. But we can also go into another pose where you can either hold underneath your knee, maybe you take the sole of your foot and you reach. Inhale and exhale and release. Let's do some shoulder rolls to the back so that you can relax. Stand tall. On our next tree pose on the other side, I encourage you to bring your hands somewhere else. You can keep them over your heart, but maybe you want to become a tall tree on this side, maybe with lots of branches, maybe a fat bush. It's your tree pose. Go on and lift up your right heel. Maybe you slide the foot up the leg a little, or some people put it on the inside of their thigh. Remember, it's your tree. It's your practice. And breathe. Next, we'll move into helicopter. Bring your arms out long, bring your knee to the front. Maybe you stay here, maybe you grab underneath, maybe you grab your shin, maybe you can grab your toes and take them out into the side. Woo! Or not. So I thought I'd throw in that little extra challenge today. Go on and wiggle your knees and just kind of relax. As we move into chair pose, float your hands up towards the ceiling with your gaze. Pretend you have a chair behind you. Your feet are just about 2 inches apart, about 6 bones width apart. Pull your belly into your spine and hold your chair pose. If you want a little bit more, you can roll onto the balls of your feet and cover your heels. Inhale and exhale, come all the way back up on your toes, float your hands down. As we come to the front of our mats, we're going to go back down to our mats for our final part of our practice. Inhale to float the hands up, forward fold, and step back, one knee at a time. As we transition onto our buttocks for our boat pose, bring your feet out in front, and bring your hands behind your knees. Sit as tall as you can, and roll past your tailbone. So no pressure on the tailbone. Arms are straight. Look at your belly, pull it into your spine. Drop your shoulders, lift your heart, lift your gaze, lift your legs into tabletop. Lift your arms, you're in boat pose. So if you need a modification, maybe you drop one foot down, maybe not. Maybe you want more, you can just straighten your legs into a full teaser, full boat, and breathe. I always find that the more you can reach with your arms and your hands, the easier it is to hold your pose. Inhale, exhale, go and bring your hands back behind your knees and come back onto your sits bones. We're going to transition onto our backs, so slowly roll back past your tailbone. If you need a pillow or something for your head or your neck support, you can roll up your mat and make a little pillow, or grab a pillow wherever you are. Let's roll past our tailbone. And this time, as you lift your feet, how slowly can you roll your spine down? Roll one vertebra at a time. So round your spine and slowly roll down. taking your knees into your chest, dropping the back of your head to your mat, relaxing your feet, just let them dangle, maybe just kind of kick them a little softly so that you know that they're relaxed and they're not flexed. Relax your legs, relax your feet, and gently rock your knees side to side. From there, we're going to take our hands on top of our knees and circle our knees in big circles away from each other. Remember, the slower you move, the more tension you release. So we're just trying to loosen up those hip joints here. Press your lower back into the mat, your belly into your spine to protect your lower back. Switch the direction of your circles. And then push your knees away from your chest so your knees are bent and the soles of your feet come back to your mat. Relax your hands on your mat. Press your lower back into the mat and your belly into your spine. Your pelvis will tilt. As we begin to peel our spine up into bridge, one vertebra at a time. Inhaling to peel up and exhale to lift a little higher. Maybe you interlock your fingers underneath your hips. Hold your bridge pose, or if that's not comfortable, you can peel your spine back down. So you're either in bridge pose or you're just with your hips down, relaxing. Let us breathe 3 breaths wherever you are. If you're in bridge pose, go on and peel your spine down, one vertebra at a time. Once your hips are down, go on and lift up your right ankle and put it on top of your left knee, and gently press your knee away. If you want a little bit more, you can lift up your left foot, let your hands go behind your left thigh, and pull your left knee towards your chest. This is a supine pigeon pose. If you still want a little more, if you're still not feeling it, you can let your legs fall about 5 inches to the left and breathe. Slowly come back to the center to release. As we switch, we're going to drop the right foot down, bring your left ankle on top of the right knee, press the left knee away softly. And then if you want a little more, you can lift up that right foot, grab behind your right thigh, pull your right knee towards your chest. If you're still not feeling it, you want to go a little bit deeper, let your legs fall about 5 inches to the right. Slowly come back to the center, uncross your legs. And let your arms go out to a T with your palms up. Separate your feet about shoulder width apart. And let both knees fall towards the floor on the left as you gaze to the right, letting your top knee be heavier than your bottom knee. Maybe it's more comfortable for you to straighten out your right leg. Maybe you even just bring your hand over on top of your right leg and pull it over. So it's whatever works with your body. I like both knees to just be bent because the weight of the top knee helps to stretch and rotate the body. On the next breath, come back to the center as both knees fall towards the floor on the right and you gaze to the left. And then slowly bring your knees back to the center. As we move into Supine Butterfly, the soles of the feet will come together as the knees fall away from each other. But first, go ahead and press your lower back into the mat, your belly into the spine. It tilts the pelvis up. Let the knees fall away from each other. Close your eyes here as we're moving into Final Savasana. So you can stay in your Final Savasana in Supine Butterfly with your knees floating down towards the floor and away from each other. Or maybe you straighten your legs, bringing your left heel to the left corner of your mat and the right heel to the right corner of your mat. Wherever you are, Final Savasana is final relaxation. This is a time to take for yourself to just be in the moment and totally relax. Just be. Melt into your mat. Breathe. Take this quiet time to just be. Again, being aware of your breath. What's happening as you inhale? What's happening as you exhale? Maybe you move into that purifying or relaxing breath with a very long inhale in through the nose. And exhaling all the air out of your body through your mouth. Let us breathe and just relax. Relax your mind. Relax your breath, your spirit, your body. Relaxing your feet, your toes, the balls of your feet, your arches of your feet, your heels, behind your knees, even your buttocks and your back, your lower back, middle back, and your upper back. Relax your shoulders and your arms, the insides of your elbows, the insides of your hands, fingers, even your belly and your rib cage and your chest, your neck, your scalp, and all the muscles in your face. Relax them. We hold lots of tension in our face. Can you relax your forehead and your eyebrows, your eyelids, your cheekbones, your nose? Relax your chin. Relax your earlobes. Even your mouth, your teeth. Unclench them, let them part. Let your tongue fall away from your teeth. Relax your lips and just be quiet and still. And let us open up our hearts and let them be filled with love today. Love of yourself, but love of others. And may your hearts also be filled with grace, with gratitude, and with peace. And I invite you to come back to a seated position the way we started our practice as we open up a time for prayer request. You can either jot down your prayer request in the comment section, and we have a team that will pray for you throughout the week. Or maybe you just yell out your prayer request wherever you are. We can pray for each other in the Spirit. Let us pray. I lift up my daughter Megan and the upcoming birth of her baby that she will hopefully deliver next week. So I just lift up both of them that they have a healthy delivery. Let us open our eyes to come to a close of our practice. Take your arms out long with your palms up. Inhale to float your hands up. Exhale, hands over, heart center. Namaste. And Pastor Michael will close us with a prayer.
Amen. Thank you so much, Karen, and thank you for everybody who joined with us. And please, if this was a transfiguring moment for you, if it was a blessing, please will you share it with your friends. Share the link. Send it. YouTube friends that are joining us on YouTube, send that out so that it can be accessible and a blessing to others. So we'll close our time today. Please show some appreciation for Karen, some likes, some love, some social media appreciation. And I'll close this with the Lord's Prayer. This is a prayer that Jesus taught his disciples, but it's really kind of a universal prayer. It's used all over the place by recovery fellowships and even secular gatherings. And it really just is a prayer for all of humanity. So I encourage you to pray it with me. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Amen. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining, and we'll be here same time, same place next week.